Hey creatures, today we're gonna do something kind of cool. I'm gonna fix my window problem that I self-created. So we're pretty much, in a way, what I went from what, oh boy, what I went from, actually switching the windows was the factory, this big giant thing to these switches on each side. I'm pretty sure they're the 19 millimeter. I think they're the 19s from Billet Automotive Buttons, which are very nice. They had some wiring diagrams that kind of explain it, and multiple different ways you can do it, multiple different I guess kind of custom switches and stuff that you can use. Well, buttons, not switches, they're buttons, a little different. But today, to fix the problem, oh, this one's open, and a couple other ones, I want to disengage the beeper that apparently is coming through the dash instead of, I think normally the speakers, because there's no speakers in it, so it's through the dash. So I pretty much gotta disengage that, snip a connection or whatever from that continually beeping once I get fast. And I think what I remember, it was because the seat belts aren't in it, but I have better seat belts because it's a 5-point harness. But yeah, couple things, mainly the windows. Wow. Mainly the windows. But I almost forgot about that beeping in the dash. Get rid of that. So the first thing, but I ended up getting these cool little modules. They're really small. In comparison, I don't know, like half the size of a tape measure or less, the height, but like half the width. And pretty much this will solve the problem. Based on, this is pretty much a module, I think it says right on it, forward reverse relay module. So pretty much you connect it a certain way. I'll show a diagram, but pretty much how you connect it, you pretty much got power and ground to a battery, and then you got, in a way, power ground to the motor or window motor, usually, reverse polarity motor just in general, and then you got power and ground for each forward and reverse, and you pretty much just split the upper ground for the switch, because they'll do the same thing. They're both grounds, and pretty much it'll, you hit the button for forward, window goes up, the other one goes down. but first things first, of course, is I got to get the dash out and get behind there. And then I think the first thing, actually, I kind of want to get the instrument cluster. I think I was saying dash earlier for that, but the instrument cluster, get the instrument cluster apart and find that little speaker in there, and disengage that from happening, and hope there's no, tie-ins where it'll, stop something from working. But first things first is getting the dash out and set you up and see how fast it takes me to get the dash out within reason. So here we go. Okay, so I got the dash out and kind of apart. And what I had to do, what I forgot about, oh, never mind, is there was kind of like a box behind this. And the problem is kind of a flaw that I noticed in at least the 19 millimeters from the Bill Automotive buttons is you can pretty much, if I can do it, is if you saw that, I didn't hit that release button, and the problem is these connectors that I had to, you know, quick release, so I didn't have to take these apart and start guessing, taking longer. So pretty much, you know, they're separate on the dash, so they're on the dash bar, so it's a lot easier to you know, put them in. But the problem is these are really hard to take out, and as I pulled them, I thought I could just pull them, and I forgot there's really no like latching spot. Does that one have it? That one doesn't have it, no. I don't think the 19s do, but I think the bigger ones do. 19s don't. I don't know what I just said, but they're really nice buttons, but I think that's a flaw that I found out is I don't, yeah, that's I would say kind of a minor, could be a big flaw to some people, but you know, I'm hoping it doesn't become a bigger problem than it is. But the one thing is I got the instrument cluster by itself over here, and what I plan on doing is taking this apart and seeing if I can disengage that horn. So here we go. Okay, so I got that little speaker out. You can see, if maybe it'll focus, but in the blurriness, you can see there's two little tabs, and if you can see right there, maybe if it'll focus, I don't know, but you can see these two little there and there, those two little tabs, and pretty much they have like 3 slots that look like that, and I had to cut the other ones, well, because I couldn't get to them, and there's a little opening there, and I could get to that one, but hopefully that solves the problem. And it's kind of looking like it won't cause any problems, because that easily came out. So yeah, pretty much, if you saw, all I did was take off the back cover, this cover, and then there's this piece that goes, kind of covers all this electronics, the board, I can't think, the board, the electrical board, can't think of the name, little brain fart or whatever, but pretty much connects it, kind of slots in there and there and there and there. But pretty much, really, I was just looking around, and obviously pay attention. You can see the holes for where that speaker is, and pretty much you flip it, you flip that thing over, and then you can see where it is, because you got the little mechanism on each side for the dials, fuel, and RPM. And then, yeah, this, what I noticed, I'm pretty sure is for the screen. So don't mess with that. I accidentally, well, not accidentally, I took it off. So I might have to pry it and push it back in because it looks like it's unlevel. But yeah, I'm gonna put it back together. That was a lot easier than I thought, and I made it a little harder than it should have been. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing back together, and tomorrow I'm gonna, work on the main window thing because it's just so worn. Getting that out, I just sweat like crazy. Getting that out, but I'm probably gonna plan and double check some things with the buttons and make sure I can wire it how I think I want to wire it. Because there's really only you got the power and ground for each that go to the switch that activates the window motor to go either up or down. So I gotta make sure, because there's more wires that go to those buttons, and there's like a main power that goes to the button, and then you got the actuating flow wire that flows the power through. So I gotta double check. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out, but and then I can slap the dash back in, or I might want to double check some things. But really, after that is make sure everything works, and get this thing out, wash it, and then get it back in here ready for other stuff. Still waiting on the passenger strut to go on, so I think probably have to go on redoing the underbody, or not redoing, but completing, I should say redoing the mounting of the underbody protection, because I got those riv nuts and the tool, because they're just riveted in there, which it's not something I wanted to keep how it was. It was just a quick, easy thing to do at the time, so I'm gonna redo that. Is probably the next thing, and then probably bumper off, and relocate the intake tube or intake hose that feeds to the intake. And then put in the upper grill insert, and then get the bumper back on, then keep moving forward and getting this thing ready to be competition legal, I guess. So let me get this thing back going. Okay, so I'm back. I definitely figured out how I want to do it, and based on how these switches actually work. So pretty much, if you have no idea how electronics work, it's pretty much, or in a sense, ohms or resistance. Resistance. So pretty much right now, there's no flow, so the circuit is open. then you open or close the circuit, my mistake, and pretty much, you know, closing the circuit's pretty much just like connecting the two leads onto just a random normal wire. You get direct flow that way. So I wasn't sure, go away fly, I wasn't sure exactly how these switches, I knew how they work, but in a sense of, you know, getting them to work with the module. I got the one module for the driver's side, whatchamacallit, zip tied in there, and I'm gonna do that with that one now. But now that I know what I gotta do in the sense of making the switches work the right way, pretty much just go after it, because the motors are already wired up for the two leads, for the two motor leads. So that's done. I just got to make sure everything's, you know, right. So what I'm gonna do is get to it and get everything straightened out. So when I start doing it, there's no hiccups, and I just go right at it and do it. And there's, again, no hiccups. I don't have to backtrack because I screwed up or something. So here we go. Okay, so I've got most of this done. I just need to get the power on this one, main power, and then this one's all done. And then we should have operational windows. Throw the dash back in and then, you know, be on the way. Okay, I got the dash back in, but a disappointment, at least one of the two things I wanted, well, almost forgot. The second thing is, well, at least there's no dinging on the dash, but the problem is I don't know why stuff is not working for the windows. So I think when I go and take the seats out and get them properly mounted, I'm going to yeah, because I don't even hear any clicking from that relay, and I know they're working because I test them before I put in. So there's either something, obviously they're not clicking, so either power, I don't know, well, I'm guessing, so the power, either the power and main power and ground are not working how they should, because one way or another that relay should click if, you know, there's a connection that's not completely connected properly, something that came loose, then those windows won't work. But that reverse module relay, those two went in. If power and ground were working right, then those should be, you know, it should be at least clicking, and it's not. So I'm thinking it's less of a power, less of a, you know, power going to the window motors rather than just it's, or more or less that it's not, you know, power, there's no power and ground going to those modules. So I'm going to end the video there, and I think one way or another I'm going to move on to something different. So I'm just going to have to deal with the mud, but I'm going to end it there. you saw the concept, but you know, the operation didn't work out. But you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you do something, you know, blindly in a sense, and sometimes it don't work. So hey, you know, crap happens. So I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Still waiting on suspension, but yeah, I'm gonna end it there.